Let me just put a question out there right now. You are ready to buy a new iPad, you have saved up your hard-earned money, and you are staring at the screen trying to make one single decision. Do I go with the 11-inch model, or do I spend the extra cash on the massive 12.9-inch model? It looks like a simple choice on paper, just a couple of inches difference, right? But in real world, this choice completely changes how you will use this device every single day. Here is what is on the line. If you make a wrong choice, you are going to end up with a serious buyer's remorse. You might spend thousands of rupees extra on the biggest screen, only to realize it's too heavy to hold on the couch and basically behaves like a laptop you didn't need. Or you might try to save some money on the smaller one, only to find out your eyes are straining trying to read spreadsheets and your hands completely cramped when typing. You are risking your money, your daily comfort, and your productivity. By the time you finish watching this video, you will exactly know which size perfectly fits your lifestyle. We are going to break down the core philosophy of these two sizes, talk about the shocking differences in display technology, how they will handle real work with creative projects, and the actual economics of what you get for your money. When you look at these two devices, the fundamental choices come down to a very simple question. Do you want a laptop that occasionally acts as a tablet, or do you want a tablet that occasionally acts as a laptop? Confusing, right? Let's look at the 12.9-inch approach. The 12.9-inch model is the ideal if you're looking for a true laptop replacement or a main computer. It's built for desk, built for heavy tasks, and gives you a massive digital canvas. Now let's look at the other perspective. The 11-inch model is better suited if you want a tablet-first experience. This is for the person who wants to hold their device in their hands, walk around with it, and occasionally handle laptop duties when duty calls. Now I'll be completely honest here. Neither size will entirely replace a traditional laptop. Why? Because iPadOS and macOS remain fundamentally different operating systems. No matter how big the screen is, an iPad will still run iPadOS and a Mac will run the macOS. So keep that boundary in mind before you buy. Let's talk about how these devices feel in your hands and your bag, because portability is the main reason people buy the tablets in first place. First, the weight. The 11-inch iPad is highly portable and incredibly lightweight. It's not incredibly lightweight, it's about 471 grams. On the other hand, the 12.9-inch iPad is significantly heavier, weighing at an approximate 641 grams. I agree that the 11-inch model has a smaller footprint, so it's easy to use in tight environments. Think about sitting in a cramped cafe, riding on a public transit, sitting in a metro, or the backseat of your car on long road trip. The 11-inch almost fits anywhere, but I can't say the same thing for the 12.9-inch model. Once you attach the 12.9-inch model to the Magic Keyboard case, something changes. It becomes as heavy as, or sometimes even heavier than a MacBook Air, which is just crazy to think about. Although the 12.9-inch model is heavier as well as bulkier, it still fits comfortably in most backpacks. But the two models view the world differently. The 11-inch model utilizes a wider, more laptop-like aspect ratio. Meanwhile, the 13-inch or 12.9-inch model uses a taller 4:3 aspect ratio, which changes how content fits on your screen. This is where the technical differences become very visual. If you're buying an older model like an M1 iPad Pro, the screens are not built equal on the 11-inch model and the 12.9-inch model. The M1 12.9-inch model features a brilliant liquid retina XDR display packed with over 10,000 mini LEDs. This advanced mini LED technology allows for an extremely deep blacks as well as higher contrast. When a pixel needs to be black, the light behind it literally turns off. The 12.9-inch screen reaches a peak brightness of 1600 nits for HDR content and 1000 nits for full screen brightness. It gets bright enough to cut through heavy glare compared to the 11-inch model. The 11-inch model uses a standard basic LCD screen with maximum brightness of 600 nits. Because it lacks the mini LEDs, it cannot turn off individual sections of the screen perfectly, causing the black bars during movies to look more like dark gray. Here is a massive tip that most reviewers won't tell you. When you're watching 16:9 widescreen video, the actual viewing size of the video is nearly identical on both iPads. Because the 12.9-inch model has a taller aspect ratio, it creates much larger black bars on the top and bottom, wasting extra space. However, if you're watching high quality HDR content and cinematic movies, especially those 70mm IMAX movies, the 12.9-inch model is vastly superior due to its advanced display technology and pure contrast performance. Now I know that there is blooming inside this, but I haven't noticed that to be a bigger problem as people say it to be. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, where I break down real world technology usage, please hit the subscribe button right now and share it with a friend who needs to see it the most. It's completely free and helps me make more videos like this. If you're planning to get actual office work or school work done, let's be honest, screen size dictates your speed and comfort. Multitasking with split screen apps is vastly superior superior on the 12.9-inch model because of the increased screen real estate. You can actually see both apps very clearly. The larger display is significantly better for managing massive spreadsheets, intense word processing, and viewing large PDFs without needing to constantly zoom in or scroll sideways. Taking handwritten notes on one half of the screen while referencing a lecture video or a textbook on the other half feels incredibly cramped on the 11-inch model. On the 12.9-inch model, that exact setup feels incredibly spacious and natural. When you utilize a virtual on-screen software keyboard, the 11-inch keyboard takes up more than half of the display, leaving you with a very little room to actually see your work. The 12.9-inch provides a full-sized virtual keyboard that even includes entire dedicated number row on the top. The 12.9-inch model also functions brilliantly as a second reference monitor when paired with your MacBook via sidecar. Because of the larger display footprint, the 12.9-inch model is highly effective for on-set production tasks, such as big reference monitor for cameras or teleprompters control for scripts. For artists, designers, editors, the screen is your physical workspace. Both sizes offers completely different ergonomic styles. For video editing in apps such as Final Cut Pro, LumaFusion, or DaVinci Resolve, the 12.9-inch model is heavily preferred by professionals. The taller screens allows for much larger video preview while giving you a clear long view of your editing timeline. Photo editors and graphic designers benefit deeply from the 12.9-inch model because of the creative apps such as Lightroom and Affinity Photo can display more of your actual image. That makes sense, right? It does that without compromising on the toolbars at the exact same time. The 12.9-inch serves as a much better display for drawing, painting, sketching in apps such as Procreate. It gives you rest room to move. When you take the iPad off your desk and bring it to your bed, couch, or gaming sessions, the ergonomics matters more than specifications. The 11-inch model is significantly lighter and far more comfortable for extended handheld use when detached from a heavy keyboard. Your arms won't tire out. Playing touch-based games such as Call of Duty and BGMI is a much better experience on the 11-inch model. The 12.9-inch model is simply too large to comfortably reach across your screen with your thumbs while holding on the side of the device. Reading standard text-based books and digital articles is much easier on your hands on the 11-inch model. However, reading graphics-heavy content like digital magazines, comic books, mangas is vastly superior experience on the 12.9-inch model as it matches the size of the real print media. If you have children in your house, I bet they will prefer the 11-inch model over the 12.9-inch model because even I am having a hard time carrying it around. Think about a child carrying this around. It makes sense, right? Now let's close out with the hardware specifications, keyboard accessories, and the actual math behind your purchase. The Magic Keyboard for the 12.9-inch model features normally spaced full-size keys that offers a typing experience that is kind of identical to a premium MacBook. The keyboard for the 11-inch model still feels cramped and requires a brief adjustment period, though your typing speed can still easily match the larger version once you get used to it. Despite the differences in screen size and display tech, both iPads shares identical internal specifications and offers the exact same all-day battery life, which gives you roughly 1 day of heavy use or 2 days of normal use. Also, the price gap between the two models varies depending on which generation you buy, but it typically ranges from 10,000 to 20,000 rupees on the used market. Choosing the 11-inch model saves you a significant amount of money. In fact, it saves you enough money to completely purchase a quality keyboard case and still leave you with extra funds left over your wallet. So be the smart guy and choose very smartly. Think about what you actually need. For my need, I chose the 12.9-inch model. If you want to know more about this, there will be a video above. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, you might also like these videos here. See you next time, same day, same time. Sayonara.